Hey, what's good everyone? It's CJ. We're back at it again today. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at Baby Audio's Spaced Out. It is an effect plugin that combines both delays and reverb and blends them into something out of this orbit. I'm going to apply this effect onto some of the sounds that I have in a project that I'm currently working on, and we'll also take a close look at all of the different parameters this plugin has to offer. Let's go ahead and open up a project, apply this effect, and see what it can do. Okay, so I just opened up a beat project that I'm currently working on, and I've already added an instance of Spaced Out to this project. I have a preset that I found very fitting in the intro part of this instrumental. I'm going to play you a portion of the intro without Spaced Out on, and then we're going to turn Spaced Out on so you could hear the difference. And here's the same intro with Spaced Out turned on. Now let's take a look at all the different parameters that this plugin has to offer and how these parameters interact with each other. On the left side, you have an echo section, which is essentially a creative delay. In the middle of this box section here, you have a 16-step delay sequencer, so you could actually draw in your own delay sequence if you'd like. On the left side, you have a generate button, so if you want to generate a random delay sequence, you could use this button. On the right side of this, you have the on and off button. This basically turns the echo/delay on and off. Let's say you only want to use the reverb section of this plugin, you could turn the delay sequencer off. Let's have a look at the bottom parameters here. So on the far left, you have the intensity, and this is a combination of both sustain and feedback. So if I'd like to increase the sustain, I could do that here, and increase the feedback, I could do that here. Next to intensity, you have dimension, and you could switch from either off to ultra wide to motion. Next to dimension, you have your textures. You could choose between clean, wonky tape, lo-fi, and hazy. So that's a nice creative tool right there. Next to texture, you have reverse. You could either turn the reverse on and off, and this will basically reverse any of those delays that come through. Next to reverse, you have your filter section, and this allows you to cut the low-end frequencies or the high-end frequencies of that echo, letting you blend it better into your mix. Now let's talk about the space section or the reverb section of this plugin. At the top, you have different programs you could choose from, either vacuum, small space, medium space, or outer space, changing the intensity of the reverb. On the left, you have an on-off button like you did with the echo section, allowing you to turn off the reverb if you want to just use the echoes or delay section, for example. In the middle, you have the joystick for the reverb, so you could choose between trippy, lush, cosmic, and alien. So there's 4 different types of reverbs you could choose from. You could also use the joystick to change the length of your reverb. So if you see here, right now we're at 44% length, alien 61%. So again, the type of reverb and the length of the reverb is determined using this joystick. Down at the bottom left here, you have the pre-delay. So this is pretty essential for any reverb. You could change the pre-delay of the reverb. Next to pre-delay, you have your stardust. So this allows you to add sort of a sustained shimmer to the reverb tail. Next to stardust, you have mellow. So, you can dampen the low end or the high end of that reverb. Next to mellow, you have cleanup. This allows you to add a bit of a trimmed dry signal to the reverb algorithm for a less dense response. Next to cleanup, you have width, and this is essentially a stereo imager. So if you want a more stereo sounding reverb, you would bring it up to 100. And if you want it more mono, you would tone it back. Now that we've covered all the parameters for both the echoes and space sections, it is time to talk about the middle section here, which is essentially the blending tool for all of this. Using this joystick, I can determine if I want more of a wet signal or a dry signal. So more wet is up, more dry is down. I can also choose if I want more of the delay to be heard or more of the reverb to be heard. So if I want more reverb, I would go right, or if I want the delay to be heard more, I would bring it left. On the bottom left of this plugin, you have the ducker function. This is my favorite part of the plugin because it allows you to duck the wet signal every time the dry signal is playing. Over here, you have a sync function, which allows you to sync the ducker to the DAW's BPM. Above sync, you have the liftoff function, and when it's turned on, it essentially glues the wet signals using compression and EQ. Next to liftoff, you have the output, which controls the global effect output. You could also change the size of the plugin by clicking on the bottom right-hand corner. On the top left, you could choose the color of this plugin. So if you want to go between a dark and light mode, you could do that over here. The dark mode is definitely much easier on the eyes. Now that we've covered all the parameters that this plugin has to offer, it's time to get experimental. So I'm going to loop off a section of this beat and then work on the delay first, then the reverb, and then blend those two worlds together. Absolutely no wonder that this was named the Plugin of the Year by Future Magazine. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I had an awesome time using Spaced Out by Baby Audio. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video for you to check out Baby Audio's Spaced Out. I hope you have fun with it. This is definitely one of those plugins you need to add to your arsenal. My name is CJ. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.